Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we will be looking at a very interesting and just a very pleasant game. It was played between Nigel Short and Jan Timman. I don't know how to pronounce the Jan. He's a Dutch grandmaster, and this was played in 1991 in Tilburg, and it's a very famous game. And the fact that not many chess players know about this game is the reason why I wanted to record this game and show you all today. It's very famously known as the King Walk or the King March, and you'll really understand why it's called so as the game proceeds. So Nigel Short was white and Timman was black. The game started off with e4, knight to f6, the Alekhine's defense. After pawn to e5, we have knight to d5, pawn to d4, you have pawn to d6. And now Nigel went for the knight to f3 variation, which is a very nice counter to the Alekhines. I've seen many players play c4, that's another variation. But knight to f3 is also a very good variation to play with white, as it offers a lot of play if black takes. So if you are a player who doesn't know what to play against Alekhines, you should check knight f3 out a bit. It's a really nice game. So anyways, black did not take. Instead, he played pawn to g6. White played bishop to c4, continued development, and attacked the black knight. Black went knight to b6, bishop to b3. Black went bishop to g7, just development. We have queen to e2, a very well thought of move because he wants to get his queen out the line of an exchange. Also, he's clearing up the space for the future in the middle games. So we have knight to c6, castle, pawn to h3 to stop the bishop to g4, and eventually some ideas like knight to d4 or d takes e5. Pawn to a5 with a very simple threat of pawn to a4. So white plays pawn to a4. If d takes e5, d takes e5, and now knight to d4. Knight takes d4, queen takes d4, and rook to e1, protecting the e5 pawn. So till now the positions are alright for both players. Nobody's done anything special yet. But you'll slowly see how as the game proceeds, how this position's gonna turn into a nightmare for black. Here's the first move, which I think was kind of a bad move, which is, it's not a bad move, I mean, it's stopping e6 for white. Black played pawn to e6. But the thing is that because of all these exchanges, he forgot to develop his c8 bishop. He could have taken it out on f5 before he actually went and played knight to d4. So I feel like he should have played bishop to f5 first, so that he would never come to a position where he had to stop e6 in the first place. So now we have knight to d2. We have knight to d5, just trying to centralize the knight. We have knight to f3, also stopping knight to f4, any type of threat. Queen to c5, we have queen to e4, queen to b4, and white's actually playing a lot with his queen, he's playing a lot with his queen rather than develop his really lost, deserted bishop. We have bishop to c4. He doesn't want to exchange queens because he knows that the queen doesn't have any play on the queen side. There's nothing happening. Black goes knight to b6, pawn to b3, no issue for white. Takes. Now we have rook to e8. Again, you realize what white's done here is white's completely trapped black's g7 bishop. So now black's trying to, play rook e8 to get some action on bishop f8 and bishop to c5. White plays rook to d1, trying to avoid any type of bishop to d7 ideas. Black goes queen to c5, and he's played so many moves with his queen, I've actually lost count at this point. Not very grandmaster-like moves here. I mean, to be honest, in his defense, black has nothing else to do. He can't move any other piece. I mean, he can't even develop his bishop from b6 because he's going to lose his rook otherwise. So now we have this move queen to h4. And one of the main reasons why he didn't let him take it is that black couldn't take this is because you're kind of inviting rook to d8. Also, you're into a lot of trouble if white takes, which is I think the best thing he'd do. And after takes, This sort of weakness black has over here is gonna be a little problematic for black. So he decided to go against it. He decided to play b6, finally getting released from the pin. Bishop to e3, attacking the queen. Now here's where I think black should have actually fought for a queen exchange. He should have gone back queen e7. He should have kept trying to persuade white to finally exchange pieces, but all that to even go back queen to f8, keep his pieces on the king side, because he really doesn't have a lot of pieces here. We decided to go queen to c6. We have bishop to h6. We have bishop to h8. Rook to d8. Very nice little plan here from Nigel. Can't take because of checkmate. So he obviously went bishop to b7. We have rook to d1, making a battery. Bishop to g7, he's like, okay, let's exchange bishops, otherwise you're gonna cause some problems. We have rook to d7, he's like, no, I'd like you to take it, please. And we have rook to f8. He finally decides to take it, takes, and now rook to d4. Rook 1 to d4. Protecting the pawn so that he can finally move his queen in. Somewhere like this. Rook a to e8. Check. King to g8. We have pawn to h4. After pawn to h5, here in this position, if you're black, you have to realize something. Your queen here, it's really not doing anything. I mean, it can't move anywhere except this and this. But would it be enough? Well, let's just see. White goes king to h2. Black goes rook e c8. He really does not have anything to do at this point. Because see, had he, let's say, taken here, he's asking for a lot of trouble after rook takes e7. So decided to go rook to c8 first. After king to g3, went back to e8. He has nothing really to do here. If he, let's say, goes the queen takes a4, you're gonna always have some sort of threat. I mean, I don't want to ruin the surprise for y'all, but white's still maybe gonna win. But I don't think black saw white's threats here, and he decided to go rook c to e8. We have king to f4, and now I think it's safe to say that it's too late for black, because after let's say even queen to a4, king to g5, queen to c2, and now king to h6, can't do anything. It can't stop the mate. That's exactly what happened in the game. After king to f4, black played bishop to c8, and after king to g5, black resigned at this position. I mean, just look at this game. Your queen's completely stuck. You can't do anything with your queen, and that's one of the reasons. That's one very well thought of plan by Nigel. This little king walk he had, going all the way from g1. I think when the game was going on live, the people commenting on the game who were spectating it went absolutely wild when they saw the king g3, and after rook c to e8, after they saw king to f4, they finally saw, oh god, you cannot stop the invincible king. And that's exactly what happened in the game. Timman could not stop this sort of sign of aggression by Nigel Short, and he resigned after bishop to c8, king to g5. He's in awe. First of all, I mean, what a game. So anyways, guys, that was the game, Nigel Short against Jan Timman. If you guys did enjoy the video, do hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, and comment down below if you have any suggestions. And I'll see you all in the next one.